What's up, everybody, on Ori's channel, on Ori's Oasis, from orisoasis.com. This is Mistress Shani, and of course you all know that I do numerology and the significance of letters, what they represent, how they are a pivotal part of who you are, where you need to go, what you need to do, and how they are connected to everything that's out there, even to the tree of life. And when you look at the first letter in your name, it does have a significance. Today's letter is, of course, the letter A. It's part of wisdom. It's the number 1. If you are familiar with the tree of life, it's at the very top, along with J and S. For those who possibly have a name Albert, but go by the letter B because you call yourself Bert more often than you call yourself Albert, this pertains to the other portion of who you are, the A aspect. It depends on how you want to write your name, if you want to shorten it or if you want to extend it. But every letter, every word has a purpose, and the letter A is the beginning of the alphabet. The alphabet, A-W-L-E-F is how it's pronounced, but it's A-L-E-P-H or A-L-E-F. A is the vital principle of breath and of life. It represents not really the creation of God, but it's designed by God. Just like Adam. You know, Adam's name started with A. A's lesson in life, if you go by the name of Albert or Angela or Andrea, A's lesson, the initial lesson for that letter is self-control. When you look at the letter itself, it looks like a man, or the leg or foundation of a man. These are his feet, his stability. This is what controls that. The line in the middle or center is what controls the stability. Anything above this line in the center deals with spiritual. Anything below the line in the center controls the physical. If you're more focused on the physical, then it would make sense to deal with the self-control portion of your higher spiritual self. If you're focused on this, you want to control the portion, self-control of the portion of your lower self. So if your name is Albert, you have to figure out what it is your focus is on. And I'm just using Albert as a name. What your focus is on and what you want to control. This line in the center is the balance. And as I said, it's like a man standing well balanced on 2 feet. He's not with 1 foot, but he's on 2 feet. He's strong, he's strength, has character, not really self-subservient to anyone else or subservient to anyone else, but it's more about self-control. A also stands for aggression. If you think of the words and what they represent, it also get that sound, aggression, attitude. All of those things that start with A sounds like it is in control of self or purpose or design by nature. Sometimes the A can be a little bit uptight, so you have to learn how to be more in control of being relaxed, but not to the point to where it's outside of your realm. A is also soft breathing. You know, most people who have the name with an A possibly has breathing issues, you know, like when they're sleeping at night, sleep apnea. And it's not by happenstance. Sleep apnea is called apnea because they understand the purpose of the letter A is about self-control. And apnea is controlling of the breathing. It's about individual again, it's the number 1 in the letter of the alphabet, also of the Aleph Bet. But you'll see that some of those people have issues with breathing of any kind. It could be any type of breathing, basically. I'm going over my notes as well. But the negative aspect of A is somebody who is too self-centered, too focused on themselves, not worried about anybody else. It's about I, me, what I do. And those are the things that you have to work on if you want to be controlled or balanced. It's the element of air. One thing you shouldn't do is smoke, be overly opinionated, selfish, because 1 is always thinking of the number 1. But I would focus on being creative, the will and wisdom and activity of what you are able to portray and exude outside of who you are. When an A is upside down, the spiritual aspect, you gotta excuse my thing here. The spiritual aspect is focusing on the lower portion with your feet in the air. And you have to see if you want to be focused on that bottom portion of spirituality, as some say, the dark. Allowing yourself to be open as a cup to receive the stability from the top. Putting your power or energy flowing back down to earth, manifested down below. Or focus on the upstanding spiritual receiving from the top and placing it into the ground so that others can feel that stability, that knowledge, that wisdom, that creativity that you have with your feet planted on the ground. And it's always good to have, well, depending on what you study, it's always good to have that fair balance between this one and this one. The upside down A is the yang. The right side up is the yin. If you put it together with that circle of the yin and the yang, you would also see that the open center is here and the open center is there. But still within that circle, the yin and yang encompasses 1 of stability, well balance, and purpose. Let me just draw the yin and yang so you could see it. And my yin and yang looks horrible right now. But the yin and the yang. Don't laugh at my drawing. I know it's a hot mess. But it's the complete oneness of who you are. Hey, let's color that in. Let's color that in. But it's the complete oneness encompassed within that circle about having full self-control. The A is well-balanced, self-control. The balance comes from the position of the line in the center. Again, the line in the center with your spiritual aspect above, your physical aspect below. Whereas the yin and yang is full spiritual aspect in completion, giving to each other. This one, on the other hand, kind of gives to self pointed at the top and to man down here. Either way, the number 1 Aleph Bet, or Aleph, or the number A, or the letter A is the number 1, and that is geared towards mental aspects, self-control. Creative principles are will, wisdom, and activity. Pay attention to what you're breathing in, what you are releasing out. Try not to smoke. If you have asthma, again, asthma starts with the letter A for a reason, because it's about controlling the air circulation within that person or being. Try not to be so self-centered or opinionated or selfish, seeing yourself only as I, as one, without giving back to the universe, because you are able to give back here to people and to the universe spiritually there. So again, that's the first one at the top. Again, the Sephiroth at the very top. For those who do know about the Tree of Life, I'm not even gonna, because I know Dia is still trying to get me to talk about the Tree of Life in its fullness, but I'm not going there. But it's the very top of the Tree of Life, the very top one, the number 1, which is mental understanding and clarity and perception. And the other letter